I always say that parenting or motherhood is worship. Stewarding anything is worship. And the minute you see it as that, you have a different perspective from the random Ada or Chinaza or
Yeah.
Opeyemi, because you understand that this is a way for you to give God your best. My pregnancy results came and it was positive, and then I was like, I don't really believe, and then it was like, we'll do a scan just to
show
double
you.
confirm, and then the scan showed I was pregnant. I was just like, wow, okay, there we go. While I was going through the struggles, it was for a good cause. I was able to still find joy in the moments. Yes, I couldn't walk properly. Yes, I had back pain. Yes, I had GERD. Yes, I had headaches. Yes, I had acid reflux and indigestion. Yes, I had insomnia. I couldn't sleep. And yes, there were days where I cried and I was just asking myself, like, is this really what pregnancy is all about? It took me like 6 hours to progress from that 4 centimeters to the next centimeter. I was just like,
What's going on?
and then that's when the contractions really started showing me that
Hi.
what they've said about pregnancy and delivery is exactly what they mean. I had this sudden understanding of God's fatherhood as well, in how he sees us as his children and how we as well should relate with him as parent, as father. And just that responsibility that, wow, okay, somebody's life, quote and unquote, is in my hands. I get to steward them. I get to model God's image to them. I get to, give them a smile, give them a home, a warm place, give them love. It made me really realize that, okay, this is something that I'd actually looked forward to, but I couldn't even imagine the extent to how it would satisfy me and expand my purpose here on
You
earth.
make it sound so beautiful. Like I'm not. Is it the same motherhood? You're making it sound so sweet. So. I'm here to show you that mothers are really doing it all. As I mean, you see the title, Motherhood, Faith and Purpose, right? But I want to bust your bubble because there's a special field of influence we're looking at today, art and culture. Oh yeah, if you are an art and culture as a mother, come outside. Come outside because I'm about to prove to you that you can do it.
You can do it all.
And I have the honor of having someone very special. I'm excited. Hi, Ore.
Hi, Cheryl. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm well. Thank you. Very excited to be here.
I like the energy. It's been a long day, but I'm glad that the energy is there.
Yes, always.
So, who is Ore?
This question still baffles me all the time. But, I'm a lawyer. I'm a performance poet. I'm a child of God.
Hallelujah.
I'm a mom.
Yup.
I'm a wife. I'm a sister. I wear many hats. I'm a business owner.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm a lot of things. I just like to call myself a multi-potentialite in creative flux.
I think I should steal that. I should steal that. And just an interesting, I just discovered here that she's actually a lawyer and a businesswoman because I only know you based on, your, in case you don't know, she does spoken art. Is it spoken art or spoken words?
Spoken words.
Spoken words.
Yes.
And she's really good.
Oh, thank you.
She is. Have you seen her perform? You can hear from her voice. All those da-dun, and da-dun, and da-da-da-dun.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
da-da-dun. It's really nice.
Thank you.
Well done. So we're going to start with motherhood. Your mother. Funny enough, do you know your husband went to my university?
Really?
Did you tell him we're coming here? Did you
I
see my
did.
picture? Share my picture. He knows me.
I'm sure
my
he
sister.
does. Oh,
Yes.
so you're
It was my
Bowen
sister.
alum.
Yes, it was my
Oh.
sister. I think they were the same set. Sorry, because I know your husband. And they are Ore. In fact,
Yes.
it's not Ore Macaulay also. Or it's just Ore.
He's Oreoluwa.
Uh-huh.
I was Oreoluwa Macaulay.
Okay,
So
okay.
now we're both Oreoluwa.
How do you guys not do it?
Well, obviously, my name is a brand name, so I
Yes.
still go by Oreoluwa Macaulay in popular circles.
Okay.
But on paper, we're both Oreoluwa.
Oh.
Our families call us by our middle names usually
Oh,
to distinguish.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that works. Okay, that's good. That's good. So, I mean, now I digressed a bit. Back to motherhood. So let's just start from the very beginning. Motherhood. Your pregnancy journey, labor, and postpartum. How was that like?
Um, it was very beautiful, to be honest.
Oh, that's the most heartwarming thing I met today because stories I met today.
I can imagine. And I recognize, that my experience might be quite unique, because I know that pregnancy, motherhood is not an easy thing.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed a relatively calm pregnancy. I think one thing that really stood out for me throughout the journey was just how curious I was. And the minute I found out I was pregnant, there was this sense of duty that sort of, I would say, fell on me. And there was just this urge to rise up to the occasion. The second I found I was pregnant, one of the first things I said beyond, wow, oh my goodness, are you sure? was, wow, I had ice cream yesterday. Do you know, like
How does that affect the child?
you get, like, immediately I started thinking about my actions and inactions over the past couple of days and the effect that may or may not have had on the baby that I didn't know was already in existence, because I found out I was pregnant about 5 weeks. Yeah, so I think I was like almost over a month pregnant already when I found I was pregnant. So I was just like, oh my goodness.
What have I been doing?
Like, especially because I thought that there was no way I would be pregnant and not even know, especially in the first day, second day, first week. Do you get? So I was just like, is this how pregnancy happens?
So what made you now go and do a test and all?
I wasn't feeling fine. And I was so convinced that I had an infection. Like,
Where you, I mean,
a special kind of infection. So much so that I told the doctor, please don't do any pregnancy tests. I know I'm not pregnant. It's probably an bacterial infection. Just give me antibiotics. And he was just like, let's do it. I'm like, I know what's wrong with me. And then he was just like, oh, our oath requires us to just do due diligence. So we'll just do a pregnancy test. It's nothing. I was like, okay, I already know the result. And then my pregnancy results came and it was positive. And then I was like, I don't really believe. And then he was like, we'll do a scan just to double confirm. And then the scan, showed that I was pregnant. I was just like, wow, okay, there we go. But yeah, my pregnancy journey was really beautiful. It was calm. It was very, very transformative as well, because just the sudden realization that I've entered into such a privileged position that I get to steward one of God's gifts, you get, and just rising up to the occasion mentally, spiritually, physically, financially.
You're really preparing, like you sound so.
That's the thing. I wasn't prepared, but I found out that the journey prepared me. I found out that the only way to actually do motherhood according to God's dictate was to do it with God. And as long as you're doing it with God, that is already submitting to a preparation process.
To be honest, there's no need to talk again in this podcast. I said it all. That's the summary of this podcast. That's the summary. You have summarized everything here. That's the end.
So yeah, that's what made it beautiful, because I had this sudden understanding of God's fatherhood as well.
Yeah.
In how he sees us as his children and how we as well should relate with him as parent, as father. And just that responsibility that, wow, okay, somebody's life, quote and unquote, is in my hands. I get to steward them. I get to model God's image to them. I get to, give them a smile, give them a home, a warm place, give them love. It made me really realize that, okay, this is something that I'd actually looked forward to, but I couldn't even imagine the extent to how it would satisfy me and expand my purpose here on
You
earth.
make it sound so beautiful. Like, I'm not, is it the same motherhood? You're making it sound so sweet.
I mean, there was nausea, so
No, that's beautiful.
Let's talk. And all of that is beautiful in that while I was going through the struggles, it was for a good cause. I was able to still find joy in the moments. Yes, I couldn't walk properly. Wow. Yes, I had back pain. Wow. Yes, I had GERD. Yes, I had headaches. Yes, I had acid reflux and indigestion. Yes, I had insomnia. I couldn't sleep. And yes, there were days where I cried and I was just asking myself, like, is this really what pregnancy is all about? But when in retrospect, I look at the entire journey, I'm just really grateful that the 10 months went the way they went. And yes, by the way,
it's 10 months.
Actually 10 months. That was something else I had to personally discover. It's 10 months. And yeah, you add a lot of weight. in the 8th month, pregnancy was like you thought you would escape.
You got that weight.
Then the nose started swelling, the feet started swelling, the penguin walk. But all of it now, like when I think of it, there's nothing I would actually change about it, because the joy of just giving life to somebody, it's unparalleled. So yeah, that was pregnancy. And then my baby came.
The real work.
It was the delivery process. And I was just like, so I started laboring at home.
Okay.
And then I think I done like the active phase at home.
Okay.
And then I went to the hospital, and they were like, oh, you're about 4 centimeters or 5 centimeters dilated. And then I was like, okay. I mean, I'm not feeling any pain. Like, let's go. Pregnancy ward, delivery ward. Let's go. Oh, God. And then it took me like 6 hours to progress from that 4 centimeters to the next centimeter. I was just like,
what's going on?
And then that's when the contractions really started showing me that what they've said about pregnancy and delivery is exactly what they mean. And it was so intense. And thankfully, I had my mom and my husband, and they really just kept me going. They really kept me going. I was squeezing their hands. And my mom kept telling me, no negative utterances here. Anytime you feel the pain, just say, Jesus, help me. Jesus, help me. And Jesus really helped me. And thankfully, I had also done a lot of like studying and just making sure I was aware. Because like I said, I was very curious. I needed to know everything that was happening, because I felt like I owed my child that much intentionality.
Wow, you're such a good mother. Like,
I really try. And God really helps me. And yeah, my baby came, and then I was just like, hello. That's the first thing I said to him. I said, hello, I can't believe you're here. And he's the joy. Like, I love my son so much. He's so amazing. Like, everything he does is just so amazing. I can't even imagine any negative emotion towards him. I mean, yeah, there are some times where he's like all over the place. I'm just like, if I catch you. But even all of that is from a playful, joyful, loving, centerpiece. And I'm just really grateful. My baby came, and he was healthy, and he was alive. And that alone is a miracle, because like childbirthing, pregnancy, the miracle of it is so multi-layered that your body just knows how to divert nutrition to your child, knows how to regulate the blood flow of 2 people in one body, knows how to supply oxygen, knows how to push a baby out from its tiny. Do you get, like, it's just indicative of God. And every time people ask me of my pregnancy and childbirthing journey, and the one thing that I have to culminate it as, I just say it's pregnancy, childbirth, motherhood has been the greatest proof to me of God. The greatest proof to me of God. Like, I'm so sorry. Yes, nature, birds, creation, all of that, they're proofs of God. But this is the biggest proof that there is a God. He's mindful of us. He's intentional in his design, and nothing catches him by surprise. Period. Wow. And then he came, and he's almost 2 now, and I still can't believe it. And then the first few days of him coming made me realize that pregnancy was the easiest part.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
I'm so sorry to put it to you, but
whatever you see in pregnancy is honeymoon.
Bro. Within the first 48, 72 hours, one of the things I kept saying as prayer to God was just, thank you for saving me from my foolishness. Because I actually wanted twins at some point in my life. And I was just like, God, thank you, because sometimes your no is mercy. I was foolish because I couldn't imagine doing what I was doing for 1, for 2. How would I have done it now? How would I have done it? And that realization is not something you pick up before you experience the reality of them being on the other side of you, right? And just, postpartum is such an interesting thing, because there are hormones that are, crashing. There's stress, there's sleep deprivation, there's breastfeeding, there's, you healing as well. There's you now being responsible for somebody outside, especially if it's your first time. You're literally learning through everything that you're doing. I remember the first time I had to change my baby's diaper. And I've changed diapers for many children before, so it wasn't really my first time. But when it's for your child,
It's
especially when they're
different.
that tiny, you just suddenly feel so inexperienced. You get, and the fact that you're the baby's mom means that everybody's sort of looking to you for guidance.
Yeah,
because
like what should we do?
they expect that, it just suddenly falls upon you and you wake up a mother.
I didn't know you were this funny.
But the truth is, you're also learning, and there is guilt that you also feel sometimes for being inexperienced, where you're like, oh, I should have figured this out. Oh, I should have
Yeah.
known that.
Yeah.
Oh, people expect me to know this, but you actually don't. And sometimes you are not allowed to admit that you don't know. You just have to.
Suck it up and figure it out.
Exactly, and make your way through. And there are days where, at the end of the day, you spend the whole day just making it through.
Okay.
And that's weighty. Do you get what I'm saying? You're not an imposter. You know that you're this child's genuine mother. Like, you didn't pick this child up from somewhere. And it's in those moments that I've learned mostly what it means to truly rely on God.
Okay.
To truly lean not on my own understanding.
Yeah, but on
and
God.
allow Him mother me as I mother my child.
Okay.
I swear, parenting it unlocks a new revelation and understanding of how God parents us
Yep.
and how He expects us to parent our children.
Okay.
And for those that don't have that perspective, I just really, really wish that they would, because it's changed my entire life.
Yeah.
It's allowed me rest more in my, how will I say, my childhood. As God's child, it's allowed me rest more, not strive to earn His love, not
Yeah.
strive to perform.
Ah, Jesus.
It's allowed me also be more gracious towards myself. Because now when my son falls down, because he actually doesn't know how to properly look out for things,
Now you understand that God is not.
God is not judging me.
Yeah, He's not saying, why didn't you know what to do? Why are you
God
falling
is
down?
not upset at me.
Kai.
God is looking at me and saying, oh, I'm so sorry. Are you hurt? Let's make sure you're fine. Are you good? And He lovingly runs with arms outstretched towards me, to my aid, to my rescue, without any condemnation. And I shouldn't be afraid to admit that I don't know. Because my son, when he falls down, he gets up and he looks at me for reassurance. He looks at me for praise, and he looks to me for comfort. And when he gets all of that, he's fine. He has learned the lesson. He probably won't fall that way or make that same mistake again. But when what he receives is judgment or condemnation, he's going to pull away from me. And I would have missed a very critical moment to demonstrate unparalleled, unconditional love.
Okay.
So yeah, motherhood, it will change your life. In no small way, it will change your life if you let
Wow.
it.
I mean, I've been doing this podcast content thing for this is my third year now.
Wow.
I've spoken to a lot of women. I've heard a lot of women, but I've never heard anybody's like. I feel like I need a moment to. I feel like I need to listen to what you do. Like I need a moment to listen and take in. Especially maybe like there's an understanding you have. I think you've taken out time to meditate on this thing.
Yeah.
You have not just gone through the journey. You've sat down and processed it in your mind. You've allowed not just your mind or your emotion, you've allowed your spirit man go through the journey, and you have taken it in from God.
Yeah.
My sister. May the eyes of the understanding be enlightened.
Amen. Amen.
Because I feel like once you have this revelation, once you have this understanding, like you say, it changes you.
Yeah.
You understand that what you are doing is not just mother. And another revelation I understand I had this. I started seeing my child out. This is also God's child. She's not just my child.
Absolutely.
She's also a child of God. So the same way God will protect me, same way will protect her. Like, I remember there are times where, I don't think I've said this correctly before, there are times where I'll beat my child and our angels will come and meet me and they will look at me like,
Why?
my and I did,
goodness.
so this one is not Holy Spirit.
Wow.
My daughter's angels.
Wow.
Because I've met them a couple of times.
Wow.
And I'm like, make una no verse. Me too, I'm somebody's
learning.
child. Me too, I'm somebody's child.
Yeah, wow.
Do you know, so I think one of those encounters that made me understand that, okay, you are not just, understand that this girl, to God loves her.
Absolutely. You're
God is
steward,
watching over, yes.
and you're accountable for this child. Their emotional well-being, their spiritual well-being, their physical well-being, their happiness. That's why the Bible says parents do not provoke your children.
Yeah.
Don't provoke, because in your role as steward, we sometimes forget that we're only caretakers.
Yep.
And that there is somebody who's, as we sit over them as parents, there's somebody who sits over us.
Yep.
And there's this overarching,
Yep.
protector or guardian. So
Yeah.
we're their guardians, but we're subject to the
Yes.
over guardian of
Yeah.
all of us, so to speak,
Yeah.
of whom we must give account. And he is interested in every single thing about them, just as he is interested in every single thing
Yeah.
about us, right? And it's so interesting because whew, I always say that parenting or motherhood is hard but holy work. It's hard but holy work. It's worship. Parenting is worship. Stewarding anything is worship. And the minute you see it as that, you have a different perspective from the random Ada or Chinaza or
Yeah.
Opeyemi,
Yeah.
because you understand that this is a way for you to give God your best.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity for you to impact the life of not just one person,
Yeah.
but maybe 1 million people, an entire generation through one person that you steward according to God's design. And I emphasize that part because parenting is beautiful. You get to do this for maybe more than 1, 2, 3 children. But every child has their unique template and design of which you
Yeah.
must seek God for. So the way you parent your first child may not necessarily be the way you parent your second child. Yes,
Yeah.
some things will be the norm and will be the base or the default. But in terms of how you're molding them, you must realize that you are a co-potter,
Yeah.
right? You are molding the clay with God. So he has the design and the template, and he has given a part of how that develops into your care.
Yeah.
You must not misshape the clay that you're molding. You must not damage the clay that you're molding. And it's such
Yeah.
a sensitive thing because sometimes people as parents, we get so bogged down with the fact that we're parenting on the day-to-day that we forget to zoom out and obtain God's perspective and look top down, right? And make sure that every day, every moment you get, you're checking in with the
Yeah.
templates that God has given you.
Sorry to interrupt your viewing. I know you're enjoying the conversation, but our goal is to reach more people and we need your help. So can you take a moment to subscribe to this channel, like this video, drop a comment and share this video with that man or woman. Also, I have a book titled How to Overcome the Fear of Pregnancy and Motherhood. This is for every woman who desires to have a child or children but you're afraid to. You can get a copy of this book using the link in the description or on your screen right now. Okay, let's get back to the video.
I like you already. I think we're going to be close friends.
I hope so.
Our friendship has to grow. You have to be my friend. I have to drag you into
I
my
want to be your friend.
You have to be my friend.
I want to.
I like this. I like this. It's so. I've never heard like anyone actually like speak. I said, when you first started, and I said, "Oh, motherhood was beautiful." In my head, I thought, she didn't have nausea.
Oh.
It was so like she woke up every morning, she was, she
No.
was just glowing. But you started talking about in the midst of it, all, and that's what people don't understand.
Yeah.
They don't get. And I like that we are speaking from experience, and that's why it was important that mothers were on this podcast.
Yeah.
I didn't just want theory.
Absolutely.
I want people that have gone through it and they can tell you, see, I get that it is hard. I get that in that moment you don't understand what is going on. Like you said, you cried. But you can come back and
Tears.
say, it was beautiful. Like the first time, you could have started with, Sharon, if you knew. Do you get? You could have told
Yeah.
me that. But you told me, and my first question is, I can trace that, yes, meditation and choosing to see God, but do you, how did you come to that point of understanding and realization? For anybody that maybe needs to see motherhood, because the truth is that's one of the biggest things I want people to see.
Yeah.
I feel like shaking you and say, see this thing as worship. Understand that you are not dying.
Yeah. You are actually dying.
Well,
You
yes.
are actually dying. And it will feel like you're dying, right? And there are people who may not necessarily have this perspective yet. And that's fine.
Yeah.
It's something to gradually process and become and obtain. Do you get what I'm saying? So for anybody who doesn't see it that way yet, you are not
Abnormal. You are not out of the world.
No.
Yeah.
It just takes time. It takes intentionality, and just even through the lens of faith, right? The Bible tells us that our momentary affliction is gathering for us an eternal weight of glory, and that is applicable to everything. It's applicable to
Hi.
everything.
My sister.
So everything that I was going through during pregnancy, I somehow found the strength. And like, thank God for the community around me as well. There are times where I would call my husband, I'd be like, guy, I don't want to do again. How can I, transport this pregnancy to somebody else? And he'll just be like, babe, I get you. Like, I mean, I don't get you because I know your issues, but I deal with you. What can I do? Do you need a massage? You get, and just at the end of the day, realizing that, yeah, the momentary affliction is working for you an eternal way of glory, and there's a joy that is coming. The joy of holding that child, the joy of seeing that child healthy.
Yeah.
Is worth dying for. Do you get what I'm saying? Is worth sacrificing. I didn't like taking my pills. My multivitamins I had to take every day. Oh my goodness. As I'm remembering, like, I can feel the taste on my tongue and I am shivering because I hated it. I can't even lie. I didn't take it consistently every day, to be honest. And
you're not alone. We're many.
And during my pregnancy journey, I was writing letters to my child. Right? And a lot of the letters I will write there, I'll confess. I'll say, you know what? I was supposed to take my multivitamins today.
I did not take.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't take it, and I'm not planning on taking it. Just so that you know. And if your dad catches me, I don't know how we'll solve it, but I know it's for my good, but I'm still struggling with the fact that I have to put something down my throat every day. Okay. And then there were days where it was very hard to take it, but I reminded myself, this is beneficial to your child. Yeah. Yes, you may not like it, but your child you are sacrificing your preferences for somebody else. And that is what parenting is. It's a journey of sacrifice. And we learn from the greatest example, God, who sacrificed his best for sinners like us. So if I'm truly a disciple of Christ, parenting will be hard because to this flesh, sacrifice is not normal. It is counterintuitive for our flesh, right? But for the spirit man, if your spirit is truly as mature and as healthy as it should be, then sacrifice will become a bit easier. And there's nothing like parenting and submission to God that teaches you how to be a sacrificial Christian. So just to obtain this perspective, keep leaning into your spiritual discipline of submitting your flesh to the spirit, being spiritually minded, meditating on the word of God and his promises, and allowing him show you and teach you that parenting is truly worship. That we get to steward something, someone that God has put in our care, and achieving the purpose for which God put us here on earth through that act of work. And just like that, you'll be able to say, yes, parenting or motherhood in particular is hard but holy work. And it's holy because, like I said, you're dying. Like, you're actually dying to yourself. There are days where, oh my goodness, I couldn't sleep because my child in the womb decided to be active, or he was sitting on my bladder and I was peeing every 2 seconds. Do you get what I'm saying? So here I am sacrificing my sleep, sacrificing my
so that life can
my cravings. I've got a bit of a sweet tooth. Shh, don't tell anybody. Right. But while I was pregnant, they would say, oh, eat healthy. Your baby needs. I'm just like, no Skittles, no chocolate, no ice cream. What? So you're dying to your preferences. You're dying to your selfish tendencies. Ew, that rhymes. You're dying to so many things. There are places you can no longer go, or things you can no longer do as freely as you would like. And all of that is taken away from you. But it's for a good cause, it's for a good purpose. And you also die because the person that emerges on the other side is different. Like, there is a shedding that happens in your identity, in your perspective. You almost become a butterfly, right? Previously you were a caterpillar, and then you are just rebirthed. There is a metamorphosis. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you just become a different person entirely. If anybody could tell me that I would learn new dimensions of multitasking. I would learn new dimensions of improvisation. I would say no, I was already an expert, a master at those things. But motherhood,
another level.
I am carrying my baby. I am cooking. I am typing agreements. I am doing laundry. All of these, carrying the mental load effectively and efficiently day after day for almost 2 years.
Okay.
I've unlocked a different level of productivity that I didn't think was humanly possible. I feel like a machine. And it's motherhood that has done that for me. Do you get what I'm saying? So you just become a new person entirely. The old you dies, and you discover that there is depth to your personality. I was funny before, ask everybody.
But now you're extra funny.
Because you have to be a comedian, you have to be a juggler, you have to be a singer, you have to be a dancer, you have to be everything to your child. Do you get? I've unlocked new levels of musical composition that, see, there is nothing I cannot make a song out of. To teach my son to keep his hands to himself when I want him to not touch something. I have a song for it.
Hey, please, you teach me after. Let me. I
have a song for it. To say good morning. You know, there's a song for everything. So you just unlock new levels of creativity, of productivity, of even articulation, of everything, because you're not smart unless you can explain certain things to a 1-year-old. And for them to understand. That is the true test
of your smartness,
of your intelligence, right? So you just realize that, okay, how do I make this relatable? And then you unlock new levels of, you know, intelligence, of brilliance, so many things. So there is a beauty, a deep, undeniable beauty that motherhood adds to a woman. It adds. Yes, it will take, but what it adds makes what it takes very, very minimal.
Kai, this is beautiful. Truly. I hate that because I record. I was also like, if I was watching, I would have paused it and just taking time to just meditate.
Even me.
And just like soak it in, like.
Even me, I'm going to watch and
take just like, I mean, like, I need to just.
Sense.
No, this is good. This is honest. This feels like we should be done. But just for other people that, you know, need to learn more on the journey. So let's go into your work life, you know, the whole art and culture, the whole lawyer, the whole business. So before pregnancy, through pregnancy, now, you know, you have a 2-year-old. How has that been like? Where did you start from? How did you find yourself? How have you been navigating it? So the whole journey.
Okay, so obviously before pregnancy, I've been doing a lot of what I've been doing. So I've been a lawyer since time immemorial. I've been a performance poet or a poet since time immemorial. And yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like, I recently just got back into formal employment.
Oh, just recently, really?
Yes.
So before then, what?
Interestingly, my journey was one where I was working in-house in a legal department for an organization. I work as an energy lawyer. Okay. And this was like 2020, up to 2023, August 2023. And then there was just so much stress, and I was definitely getting a calling from God to pull back and focus on some things that, you know, had been sacrificed on the altar of capitalism and the rat race. And it was after that, you know, we'd been trying for a bit, and it was only after that level of obedience, like 2 weeks later, you know, I took it, and it was crazy. It was crazy because it was almost like God was waiting for me to take that step, and that instruction had been over 1 year pending. Like it took me over 1 year to obey God. Yeah,
that's another class on its own. So because you know it's crazy. Imagine praying to God, I want a child. God, you have been trying. You know, you've gone to the doctor, you've taken all the expensive pills, you've done those annoying tests, and God just simply told you, leave your job.
But you didn't know.
How will I eat? How will my career be this thing?
How will I take care of the child that you want to give me?
What will happen if they don't promote me? So and God is like, just resign. But no, God, we'll let you continue to do it. So you're still going to doctor is not happening, you're still crying. God, give me a child. God is like, just resign. And that's how God talks. God, just resign. God, this is okay, I'll do it. I can't do it. What will happen? You know, because there are things, and sometimes it's just simple. You know, even when you are not sure, even when you are not certain, that's profound. So for 1 year, and immediately you took it, you just took it.
Yeah, but the instruction wasn't tied to procreation. God didn't say, oh, you know, if you want to, or this is what's standing in the way of that.
Yeah.
Because obviously we only know in parts, right? Obviously God knew.
Yeah.
But me, I didn't know. I was just like, I just saw, okay, he was calling me to, you know, a time of seclusion and deep consecration. That's what I thought the instruction was about. And maybe just reordering my priorities. Right, cool. But I was like, cool. I was like, okay, you know, let me get my house in order. Let me get my finances in order. Those kind of things. Like, if I'm not going to be working, let me at least have bar, saved and
I
things
feel
like that.
you.
So
I feel
from a
you.
practical perspective, it made sense. From a spiritual perspective, I was disobedient.
Yeah.
I was totally disobedient, but
Yeah.
it made sense in my head in terms of, okay, this is what I need to do to enable that obedience, which isn't correct in any way, right?
Yep.
And then so I took a step back from work, and then almost like 2-3 weeks later, pregnant. We're like, okay. And it was so humorous. It was so humorous, the way everything happened. But then, so throughout my pregnancy, actually, I was just mainly focused on my poetry career, right? My literary career, as I like to call it. So going for performance opportunities, working on my brand, and consulting on a legal basis for some companies here and there. Just very light work to the extent of my abilities. And then the baby came, and I gave birth to my baby in July. I think by like the second week after giving birth, I had a gig. I had a performance gig, and everybody was like, what's wrong with you? But I knew for a fact that motherhood was supposed to accompany every other thing that God had called me to do.
Yeah.
So one wasn't supposed to wait for the other or delay the other or get in the way of any of them. I knew just as committed I was a mother, I was supposed to be as committed a lawyer. I was supposed to be as committed a poet, a business owner, and everything else, right? So I was out there gain opportunities and working and things like that. But since then, I had been trying to apply. Actually, I was applying for jobs. So I kid you not, between July 2024 and maybe February 2026, I'd applied to maybe over 500 jobs.
So what happened?
And I didn't get any job. The opportunities that, I progressed in terms of the interview stage, suddenly the organization would get back to me and say they're pausing the recruitment for that role. Repeatedly. Out of maybe like 500 applications, only like about 4-5 companies got back to me. And I applied for roles that I was underqualified for and overqualified for. I applied for roles outside of my niche. I applied broadly, deep. I did everything. Oh, I cried. I doubted my competence. I doubted whether it was God that led me down this path. I asked myself questions. I said, what will become of me? And all of this was because I still had that passion in my heart and conviction that I'm supposed to be working. Like, I know I'm not meant to be, at this point in my life, a stay-at-home mom. Or just a stay-at-home mom. So even while I was applying, yes, there were things that my hands found to do that I did, like I didn't stop being a poet. I didn't stop, consulting for legally for some organizations. That's how, the business opportunity even came up in that season as well. It was a really trying period, a trial of faith. And it was in the midst of all of this that I was learning everything that I had learned about motherhood, how to depend on God to teach me how to mother my child. So it's so interesting to see that as a Christian, your faith can be challenged in an area and in another area it's absolutely thriving, And it's intentional because God expects that faith is a mustard seed. If you keep watering it, eventually it will grow and touch all other parts. So that you can come out on the other side and truly know that your faith has been tested and it will not fail, no matter the area, no matter the time, no matter the circumstance, right? Because a lot of times God was telling me, why do you believe in me to do X, Y, Z and X, Y, Z, but you don't believe in me to do this and this? And it was pointing to the things that I was reliant on myself for. So much so then I had to actually take a step back, stop all applications at some point and say, God, I've done everything I know to do, everything that's in my power to do. And still, this thing is trending this way. What is going on? And God said, I've been waiting for you here. I've been waiting for you here, for you to ask me what I am doing in this season, not what you want to do. I said, okay.
Can I get a moment to cry?
I said, okay. I was just like, are we back here again? Like 2 years ago was a testing of my faith, and now we're back here. And God said, it's an upward trajectory. the person that I need you to become on the other side of this, I am perfecting. So sit down, let me give you your template, the template of your life for this period. That's when I actually started to settle in motherhood. Not because I wasn't a good mother, but the moment I realized that this is not just me passing time and waiting in some, you know, for lack of a better word, purgatory till my job comes or anything, but this is motherhood. Like this is happening. The time that I'm spending with my son is irreplaceable. The bond that we have, me being busy at work, leaving 6 a.m., coming back 9 p.m., wouldn't have afforded me to be the kind of mother he needed me to be at that phase of his life. God and my child needed me at home, needed me unencumbered, needed me as present as possible. Because now that I have a job, it is the structure, it is the bond, it is the understanding, it is the imprint that I have spent the past 2 years forming that sets me up for success outside of the house. When I leave the house now, my son knows I'm coming back because he's matured to the point where he understands that mom will always be present for me no matter what. The structures I've put in place in terms of just being able to instruct him in the way of the Lord, for example, he knows mom will always come back home and pray with me before bed, no matter what. Do you get what I'm saying? So life wasn't just happening to me. Interestingly, I'm currently working on a poetry EP on motherhood. It's a 6-track EP about motherhood, and it is such a legacy defining project for me because it's the summary of my experience over the past years. There's a track called Identity, and it talks about how the person I was is making space for the person I am and the person I will become. And there is a line in the poem that says, I'm carrying my baby, I'm pacing the floor to memorize my lines, and this is purpose. This is what it looks like. It's multidimensional. There is another line in that particular track that says, this is not the grave site of my dreams. Motherhood is not the grave site of my dreams and aspirations. Right? This is just a threshold.
I'm sorry, I'm going to cry.
Don't cry.
I'm holding this in. I'm going to cry. Because
it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Please
okay.
Just who you become, who you have to become in order to do motherhood God's way is life defining. People often ask me what 3 words would I use to describe motherhood, and I say it's transformative. It's life changing, and it's an honor. It's a privilege, really, and I embrace it. I embrace it despite its challenges. So now that I'm back at work, I'm learning to mother in a different way. I'm learning to lean into the structures I had put in place, and I had the time and the presence of mind to put in place, because now they're the things that enable me to go out of the house and flourish and know that I'm coming back to a house that missed me, but didn't miss me too much, in that now everything is out of order. Do you get what I'm saying? In terms of just the essentiality and the interiority of my husband and my child and our home and the spirit of it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So even when I'm not there, they know I'm there because they see my love in the meals I've prepared for them before I leave the house.
You're going to make me cry.
Don't cry.
God did not prepare me for this. At least you'll have given me a heads up that when Oreoluwa calls, you want to cry.
Oh, sorry.
No, wow.
The same motherhood. Oh. They see my intentionality in the agenda, my son's learning agenda that I've passed on to his primary caregiver, as I'm in the office, and I come back and I reinforce. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm learning.
You are? I was going to ask me if you mother out massacres. You pay and we attend.
I'm learning that you can do all and be all and do it excellently. I'm learning that with the help of the Holy Spirit and with a lot of planning.
Yeah.
A lot of planning.
Yeah.
and intentionality and support,
Yeah.
you can do and be all.
Yeah.
And do and be all excellently.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this to myself, to my hearing, because there are days, especially recently, now that I've started formal employment again, where I'm on the way to work and I'm just like, bro, we go again. I'm leaving my baby at home. I didn't even get to see him before before I left the house because he's still sleeping. And I don't know if I'll get back in time, Lagos traffic, to see him before he goes to bed. My heart is breaking in a million pieces. But I know I must do this. Right. And there's that tension between certain things that you must do and how to balance them and still give your best to them. And that's where you have the Holy Spirit, who is your helper, smoothing out the in-betweens.
Yeah.
Smoothing out the in-betweens and even working on you as well, giving you strength. The strength that a woman needs to keep everything in its place, give everything the right attention. It can only come from a superior being. And the Holy Spirit, who is our helper, our comforter. Sometimes I'm in traffic missing my son and I'm just, the Holy Spirit is like, Bele, I know how you feel. Sorry, it's okay. And there are days, like there was a day where I think I hadn't gotten the opportunity to spend enough time with my son back to back. And I usually go to work with my colleague. And I was really, really trying to make sure that I see him. But I felt like my colleague was going to come because the time for him to pick me up was near. And I just said, God, please, let colleague X be a bit late. And let my son wake up in that time.
And it happened.
It happened. So much so that I was able to text my like I say, oh, please, I need a few more minutes. So I was like, oh, I'm running late. Take the time that you need. I said, see, God. And that day just became more colorful, more beautiful for me. Like it made me more productive at work because I was emotionally settled. I was calm. I had my endorphins, from a hug from my son. I was happy. I was happy that he was happy that he saw me. And there's just like that well-roundedness that comes when every part of your life is doing well enough. Do you get what I'm saying? And you're thriving. So yes, you can be a thriving career woman and a thriving mother, a thriving wife, a thriving sister. You can wear all your hats well. That's a line from one of my my poems in my upcoming EP track.
When is the EP coming?
May. Next month.
Okay, next month. Okay. Is there a date yet?
Don't worry. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Okay. Because now I can't wait.
Yeah, and I in that poem in particular, I was saying I thank myself. I thank myself for finding the courage to do this excellently. I thank myself for being fertile soil that I can plant and God can water and it can bring such an increase because it takes strength. It takes a certain level of going again. Because there are tough days. There are days where you don't have the strength, you don't have the grit, you don't have what it takes, but somehow you find a way. Somehow you find a way to juggle all the balls without any of them falling or breaking. Somehow you have wisdom and grace to know the ones to prioritize and the ones to put on the back burner. You have the support of a husband or in-laws, or do you get what I'm saying, that can hold your baby while you go out and make money to buy diapers because those things are expensive. Do you get you have the Holy Spirit who wipes your tears, the ones that you cry in the shower that nobody sees. You have God who will randomly send a Bible passage your way through a friend on the day where you are doubting yourself and doubting if you actually have all that it takes to do this. Yes, you do. You can, because God has made it so. So I'm learning. I'm really learning.
You have mastered it.
I'm telling you everything that I'm learning, and I'm still learning because now, I'm mothering away from the house, so to speak. And even that requires a certain level of skill set, because it's easy to be a helicopter mom, especially when you're not there, especially when you spent, the formative or the initial stages being the primary caregiver. Now you're away. there's a temptation to just leave your work and be constantly checking, the baby monitor from your phone in the office, or constantly checking with the nanny or the caregiver. Has he done this? Has he done this?
that?
But you also have to realize that if you've done the work, allow the work to do what the work needs to do.
Yeah.
Do you get? Because
Yeah.
then it's only then that you can see the gaps and be able to properly fill it. Do you get what I'm saying? So I do the best I can do. Close and you compartmentalize, focus on my agreements, my compliance dashboard, my poems and the gigs I have to perform at, right? And then get home, close those, get home, give myself fully to my family, go again the next day, and just let God really do what God has taken care of.
Okay. Okay, this is a lot, and I don't know. I feel like we all receive certain information differently. Someone else will watch this and may not get why is she crying. What's so emotional? What's it like? What is it that is causing all the emotions?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes, it really is fine. But just to speak why this means so much to me, and this is like really hitting at my heart, and not just at my head. It's maybe because of my own personal journey, right? I mean, I've summarized my journey in my book, How to Overcome the Fear of Pregnancy, and then I spoke about my pregnancy, all of that. So I don't want to do all of that again. I even spoke on the importance of, I have chapters on mindset, your mindset, your support system, and planning. Honestly, the book is my story. Then I spoke on God. I spoke on your mindset, I spoke on your support system, I spoke on planning, and it was a conclusion. So it's like a short ebook. I mean, you can always get that in my bio. Please, right? Do. But I think it's really hitting me because I can understand that revelation that you have. It's not something anybody can give you. I can understand the waiting, the trying season when, for example, so I have always known that, yes, I was going to leave. I was never going to do a full-time 9-to-5 job. Especially when I had a baby. But like even in my book, I said it's not. So because I've always known doesn't mean it fell on my laps. Like, oh God, so now it's time to have a child. I mean, I was depressed right from my pregnancy. The first few months, crying, confused. Even my friends, I had like very close friends. We thank God for God because we literally like fell out during that period because nobody understood. Even me, I did not understand. Even for my marriage, I thank God that God loves me. Because it was really, really difficult. And I told you I started this 2 years ago, saying how it was when I was pregnant. I kept hearing YouTube channel, and I have no background in media. I'm an accountant. I don't know any of these things. So I just there's just one studio room out there. I'll just call with my phone, just say try. Just bought ring light, just be recording the video, talking the one I can talk, And because the truth is, I tell women that I'm actually not passionate about motherhood. I'm not. I love women. I love your, but my passion is not women. My passion is, God just wants me to do this. To be honest, I understand why it matters to God, because in this age where there's so much noise, there's so much contradiction, there's so much misrepresentation, there's so much
from society.
It's important that we get to give God a platform where he can say his own, because he's the creator of this thing. Motherhood wasn't created by any woman. Like, it has existed since,
because God is a mother.
Do you get? So where are you going to learn motherhood from if not from the one that created it?
Absolutely.
Why are you trying to get it from someone else's experience? And yes, someone else's experience may help you, but you can carry that conviction, that understanding with pride, with joy, with peace in your heart, because you've gotten, and just seeing it, all play out. Even this podcast is still like a dream, because I just started in one studio room and God is like, you know what, let's trust this girl, maybe she can even do bigger. Let's give her this resource, let's give her this team, let's see what she can do. And it's, I learned even in that scene, there's a Bible verse God gave me. It says, rejoice when you go through trials and temptations, because it's building character, it's building endurance, it's building your confidence, hope, and salvation. So when I was going through my storms, I remember my pastor said Jesus was in the storm in the boat and he slept. So I told God, you know what, I will sleep with you in this storm. And I told the devil, continue. I said, one of us will get tired, it will not be me. I told the devil, one of us will get tired, because God has told me that she will rejoice in the midst of this, for what it is doing in me. So I have the understanding. Jesus is sleeping, Lord, I sleep beside. I'm not even rebuking any storm. Storm be raging. Devil, do as you like. Don't worry about it. Because stop me now, because if I pass this one, you are in trouble. You are in trouble. I will catch you. Right? So it's wow.
It's transformative.
It's a lot.
It's really beautiful. If I tell you that this poetry EP, I wrote it started off as a 10-track album, right? So I wrote 10 poems in 4 days. 10 full poems in 4 days inside my baby's playpen. Because that's where he was. I wrote this maybe when he was between like about 6 months, 7 months, right? So he was active.
Yeah.
And the only way I could get anything done, once I wake up in the morning, he's had his bath, we'll both of us resume in the playpen. And I couldn't bring like my laptop because he was curious before he spoils.
Anything,
Do you get?
yeah.
So we'll sit there, he'll be playing. I'll write one line, drop it, read a book to him, write another line, carry him, breastfeed, do you get? And I wrote 10 full poems in 3 to 4 days in that playpen. And motherhood and purpose, motherhood and career, artistry, thriving side by side. You
And
get?
faith at the center.
And
because even this
putting
name,
everything together. That's the essence.
if you
Now
watch
you
this
get the
video
vision.
and you don't get it, I can't
As
help
in,
you.
forget about
She
it.
just share the vision, the vision, the mission, the goal, the everything. If you don't get it at this point, forget about it. I don't even think there's anything I need to ask you again.
Are you sure?
I'm serious. What else do I want to say?
I don't know if I've answered any of your questions
You really have.
directly.
I think if it has blessed me, there's somebody somewhere who will bless.
Okay.
And it's because you've spoken on motherhood, you've spoken extensively on faith,
Oh, yeah, let's talk
and you've
about
taken
that.
us.
Let's talk about the arts and the culture.
Oh yeah, tell us about it.
So ask your question. I feel like you have more questions in that light.
Really? So I mean, the major question I was going to ask was how you have been able to navigate it to the responsibility, and I said, and which is why I said, you've spoken,
Okay.
showed us, how
Yeah.
the next one was going to be on faith, the role faith had played in this, and
Okay.
and do you see yourself, of course, working in your God-given purpose even in
Fully.
this season? So it's like you've
Actually.
covered it.
I love it.
So there's just one more thing we do
Okay.
to close. So we say we are mothers, we are believers, and we are working in purpose.
Oh, I love that. Very affirming.
Yes.
All right. So I say it
so on the
together?
count on 3, I will
Okay.
say it. So 1, 2, 3, go. We are mothers, we are believers, and we are working in purpose. Woo! Thank you.
I love it. That's the summary. That really is the summary.
Yes.